I'm going to start our meeting here. Thank you, Julie. And we have a Zoom connection for Mark LaHood, who's going to be calling in for one of the agenda items. Otherwise, we've got the camera here. So we are going to start our meeting today with wiping the sweat off your brow, and then we're going to do a Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome to the meeting, everyone. Thanks. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. All right, the first is the minutes. I did have a couple of corrections on the minutes. So on the poll license application for Cameron Drive, actually Bob did not make the motion. I made the motion. He recused himself because he lives on Cameron Drive. So we'll just note in there that I made the motion and you seconded that. And then the other one was that in the very last part of the public comment, Peter Benson made a comment as a representative of the Upper Saco Valley Land Trust and the Dundee Forest versus the New England Community Forest, which is in the minutes. So that will be corrected as well. And did you have anything else?
No, we didn't pick up those, but good.
All right. So I will make a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
And I will second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Bob joining us on
Other,
Zoom? Or?
no, he's not. He's not available. He's on vacation.
Oh, where did we have?
And then, thank you, Betsy, for the minutes. Thank you. All right, first agenda item is the fire pond. Rick Davis, you are here to talk about that.
Yeah, to see if the town will either donate money or dredge it. I put it, me and the wife put it in about almost 20 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of filling in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for donations or whatever.
Okay. So.
We submitted a couple of proposals, bids.
Yeah.
Right.
For dredging.
So I think the last conversation we've had recently about fire ponds dredging was the Whitney's Pond, obviously. And so we offered to help remove some of the debris or not even remove it, but help move it to and from. So we're not going to contribute anything because that's not something that we can do, and it's on a private property. And we also don't really have a policy right now for dredging and how often we dredge any of the fire ponds. So unless they're on public property where we would have to do things, we're not offering.
A pond you can't put everywhere. You can put ponds in certain places. So I don't see how the town has no property up there.
Well, it's not necessarily the property. It's that the existing ponds that are on private property are available as fire ponds.
Yes.
But we're not going to contribute any funds to dredge it.
Well, then I'll give you a hydrant back and we'll just call it my pond and go from there.
Say that?
No.
I said I'll return the hydrant to you.
No, I'm not.
Hold on. Go ahead.
No, I just, I wanted to bring Jay into it just for a second here because, he's familiar with, is the pond valuable to our town?
What is that?
Is his pond a valuable asset?
Okay, I'm going to wait to call on you.
And as I recall, when the Whitney's Pond was being done, and there was some problem as to how we were going to get it done and would it could be done in time, it was mentioned that there was always the Davis Pond up there that could be used, not only for snowmaking, but for safety's sake. So there it is, okay? And in the past, we have, I know, Jim, you worked some equipment some years ago to help out, and we said we were going to do the same thing this year at the Whitney's Pond. As it turns out, we didn't, because they just took over the whole thing, and we did, and that was great. But I think there's been some understanding, Barbara, that we do help out in some way. We don't just, we can, with machinery or with mankind or something.
We do help out if it's needed. And like we said before, with the Whitney's Pond, we offered to help out because of the lack of equipment that they had to do certain things. But Rick, I'm telling you right now, we don't have money in the budget because if we help you financially dredging your pond, we're going to open ourselves up to a budgetary issue with every single fire pond that's in the town. Hold on a second. And then it's something that we should absolutely look at for all of the fire ponds or all the ponds that are in the town at this time. But you submitted some suggested costs here of
I've got some, yeah,
around
that's-
29, close to $30,000, right?
Well, that's if you put them all together. One was out to lunch and one was just shy of 10 grand.
Right.
So are these either or are they a
They're two
combination?
separate companies.
Okay,
One's
so
rock and
one was
one's-
20,000 and one was $9,700.
I mean, the dirt doesn't have, it's gotta be trucked from here to like the fire station, right? Same on property.
Mm-hmm,
So that's gonna, the pond was dug in a day and a half by one man.
mm-hmm,
He's since retired.
mm-hmm. Jay?
The one thing that, when they use Whitney's, in the winter, when Whitney's Pond is being used aggressively for snowmaking,
Mm-hmm,
it can become not a straight fire pond because we can't get into it.
mm-hmm,
And when I say we can't get into it, when the level of the water goes up and down, it creates a layer of ice and then a layer of air. So we do have times in the winter when that pond isn't a great fire pond to try to get into in the snowmaking season. So that's when Rick's becomes super valuable to the
Mhm.
town. So it is a valuable fire pond, just like every pond is.
right,
In the way past, we have invested small amounts of money into a system around town. We just, as you said, we just have to be careful. There's other fire ponds I know right now that have issues also
mm-hmm,
from the floods that we've had they're trying to work on solving. So we just gotta be careful with whatever funds we have in the fire pond fund that we use it accordingly.
Is this a worthy effort?
What's that?
If this is a worthy effort, though, this is a valuable pond, you just gave a reason why it should be there, we could need it in the future. So this is really about how we're gonna pay for it, should we get involved in any way. Barbara seems to think we shouldn't at all, and if we set a
no, I
precedent, or...
don't think we should today, and
Oh,
I
yeah, no,
don't,
we can't do
and
it
I
today,
don't
for
think we should, I don't think we should jump into this without looking at what our budget is.
Oh, yeah.
How many fire ponds and how many ponds are in Jackson, how many are on private property, how many are on, call it public access ponds, and maybe we come back to this at the next meeting and say that,
What's that?
I think they're all private.
I don't know.
Private.
Everyone is private except for the town ponds, the only one we
Yeah.
physically.
In the park.
okay, so if we have 20 ponds and we add $20,000 into a fire pond
Right.
budget, and we say, we'll give you 1,000 and we're gonna put 1,000 into every other one, then that's setting aside a budget for our fire pond dredging. Today, we come with this presentation, and honestly, I really appreciate that you brought it to us, because now it makes us look at where our budget is for the fire department. But I can't today say that we can assist you with this with anything more than we've offered to help in the recent past, like we did with Whitney's Pond, and we offered to help with transporting debris because they didn't have the means to do that. Now, if you need assistance like that, I'm sure that Jim can work with you and figure out if there's some assistance like that. Financially, I guess I'd like to say let's look at it with Jay's budget and see if we can do anything, and we'll get back with you on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it, the hydrant's so close to the road, I mean, it's easy access.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, it's from me to you, basically
Yeah.
off the road.
mm-hmm,
You come off Dundee Road, and for that matter, you can come off Grover Road.
mm-hmm. And I totally appreciate it. Like I said, thank you for bringing this to our attention, but I can't tell you I'm gonna pay a portion of this today.
Wow, I mean,
You didn't come looking for a portion of that pay today, I think. We
No.
have budgetary concerns, we just wanted to find out.
we wanted to
where we'll be able
know,
to
we
help.
wanted to know where you were on
Yeah.
helping us maintain it.
You getting some clarity out of this?
Yeah, basically, I know about as much as I did want. All's, we were looking for help dredging, money-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, fire's equipment, that's.
You have what you
We,
need.
no, we got most of it.
Yeah.
We got, you need a pretty fairly long excavator to reach,
Mm-hmm.
because the center of that pond was 13 feet when it was dug.
Well, once you decide exactly what kind of assistance you need, whether it be financial or equipment, then why don't you talk to us and talk to Jay as a representative, you know, as the fire chief, and to Jim if needed, and figure out what assistance the town can be. If it's something that we can supply you either with help or in our budget this year, and then we can look at all fire ponds for our upcoming budget, then we will be happy to assist you. I'm not blowing this off by all means.
All
but
I know is, I don't know if Jay's tried a hydrant, I'd be almost skeptical he might suck mud. I almost think if you
that's-
hooked onto that, you suck mud.
Well,
we should check it.
I mean, that's a different issue, and it should be
We
checked
can
with
actually
all
check
of our
it.
hydrants, honestly.
Getting something to
So,
do tonight, on hot weather.
Yeah.
all right, well, can you guys talk about this and bring us back a progress report at the next meeting and let us
Because
know
I
if
got
there's something?
neighbors that are willing to help.
Hmm?
I got some neighbors that are willing to help because they want it for fire protection.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, let's use all the resources and come up with a proposal. And again, I appreciate the numbers that you've laid in front of us, but I can't say I'm gonna contribute X dollars and have 19 other ponds come to us next meeting and want more money and know that we have that in the budget.
I'll work
Okay.
on flag pond study / report. as you go
Okay.
over.
But you're saying it hasn't been done?
No,
No.
it's never been dredged. I talked to Jay last year, just thinking my ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a couple estimates this year. One I thought was out to lunch.
Yeah, I looked at the
Yeah,
two. That's why I thought it was
Well,
a
I-
combination because they were so far off. I'm like, this must be a combination
No,
because
I don't think the
Okay.
first guy wanted to do it.
yeah, it sounds like somebody gave you a deal and said, yeah, if you'll pay me $1 million, I'll do it for you. Not
Well,
$1
we
million.
get
but close.
more information, she said, but I
Okay.
feel like
Because it
we
didn't
can
cost that much to dig it.
I would say
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be able to assist at some point, but we gotta get all our ducks in a row, get our money, see what Jay comes up with, okay? Because we've done it for others, and I don't think it's fair that we don't do it for you,
Well,
private
I
or
mean,
not private. So let's just see where it goes.
Willing to,
Yeah,
see what happens.
be patient.
Okay? If you want to put a water slide in there, we'll revisit that.
No, I want
I'm just-
fireworks.
No, no. Speaking of fireworks. All right, thanks, Rick. I appreciate the information, and again, it brings it up for us to look at for the next budget season too.
Something.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Mount Washington Valley Fire Departments. We have were you able to review this mutual aid agreement?
Is it much different than what we've had in the past?
It's
Is it
Name-
the same
boilerplate?
agreement that we've had for 100 years.
Yeah.
It's just an update, maybe with new names, no new addresses, nothing
Yeah,
drastic that I'm aware of.
Okay, and
The only
the,
update, I think, was the Barton Fire Department's address change,
Yeah.
because our mail comes to our station, not our field box anymore.
the only thing I want to make clear is that this was a question that I had. This is a mutual aid agreement between Bartlett, Brownfield, Conway, North Conway, Center Conway, Freiburg, Jackson, Madison, Saco Valley Fire Association. So this is a lot of different all of our areas around us that helps with mutual aid, and it's a wonderful thing that we all enjoy. We have heard in the past, especially because we're building a new fire station, that we do more for the neighboring towns than we have to for our own town. This is a really important agreement, and if it became a situation where we had to be fully supported or we had to fully support another town because they were incapacitated or whatever, there are ways that we could recoup some of our costs if we had to, but we don't do that because of this mutual aid agreement. So for example, if Bartlett's fire station burned down, you had no equipment, and we had to serve as their fire department, there would be exclusive exceptions to this agreement. But other than that, we provide mutual aid to all of the communities around us. That was my question.
no,
I'll make a
So a lot of
motion
those
to
are
sign
used.
the Mount Washington Valley Mutual Aid Agreement.
yeah. Oh, I'll second it. I was waiting for Bob. Looking the other way.
All in favor?
And so we gotta pay
All in
attention.
favor?
to everything. I-
Doesn't have to be.
Jay. 24th day of June. Okay.
Oh, it's what today.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. The Chamber of Commerce fireworks. This is really just to answer some questions about the cost of having a fireworks show in the town of Jackson. Because the town specifically contributes to the fireworks that the chamber puts on each July 4th-ish time, then we don't rebill the chamber for the fire department's fee that they charge other areas. So we did bill Black Mountain Ski Area for their fireworks show because they are a private entity and they sponsor the entire show. So there is a question that was being emailed amongst many people about why the chamber is not charged. And it would be like the town billing the town. And we'd get the money from the fire, we'd pay the fire department would give it back to the town. So it's all one and the same. Just because the chamber pays and fundraises for whatever shortfall they have from what the town contributes doesn't mean that it isn't a town-sponsored event. So I hope that clarifies everything. Does anybody have any questions on that? No?
Yeah.
Yes,
When is the fireworks gonna be?
it is July 6th.
All right.
And that's
All right.
that's in town.
I know
It's in
that.
town here.
Last time was Labor Day.
Yeah, around,
Yeah.
around 9 o'clock,
Okay,
a little after.
all right. And it's gonna be tough this year because we don't have as much parking and we don't have the green space where they, unless you wanna sit in a hole. But we
Yeah.
don't have the green space for the fireworks and the show. But anyway, it's on July 6th at dusk, and I hope it all goes well for you folks and you don't have a rain day.
Thank
All right, so that is that. There are no motions to make on that one. Okay, the next is Town Hall Road update. So we received a couple of complaints about some debris that was put into an area on Town Hall Road, and so this, Jim, why don't you give me the lowdown on this and tell me what happened and why and how it was remedied, and we'll go away with
We're
it.
going with it. We were ditching Town Hall Road, which is technically a government road. It's a class 7 road. It's owned by US, partially owned by the US Forest Service. I spoke with Jim Ennis, who's the White Mountain Regional Forest Ranger for this district. He was contacted and he contacted us. He sent a letter. We're coming up with a plan on how to mitigate it. There was some silt runoff from our tailings that we dumped on the side, trying to rebuild the edge of the road. What we didn't realize was there's a brook about 75 feet down from that. So some of the runoff is getting closer to the brook, so that's pretty much the problem that we see.
Okay,
We're already works with Jim to mitigate the situation. We've got some silt fence so it doesn't run off into the brook, doesn't contaminate anything, and we're going to remove most of the fill that was placed wrong.
Okay.
So,
all
He
right,
did give us a July 1st date, but he'll work with us on that.
okay,
Just because of logistics and where it is.
all right. I appreciate you dealing with this, and we're sorry that it happened, and we'll move forward. No motions to be made on that. All right, thank you. So, as the Housing Commission liaison, we had a really successful gathering at the Whitney Center on Friday the 13th, and had good turnout, good information. And as a result of that, we received a $100 donation from Peter Terrio. So I would like to thank him on behalf of the Housing Commission and make a motion to accept the $100 donation and have it deposited into the Housing Commission fund.
And I second that.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Could someone turn the heat up?
Did he say, you got it fixed though, right?
Fan was turning on.
No. Is it on or did it?
Well, the compressor kicked on, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
It's gonna take time.
I'm gonna sit over there. Okay. All right. Hi, Mark. You are on, I'm gonna ask you, unmute. Hi.
Hello?
I'm gonna turn this up a little just so the, can you hear us okay though? Okay. So, Mark, you made a request to us to have an extended liquor license area to be around the fire pit and outside for all of your weddings. And this, let me just read this. Serve liquor outside the licensed area to accommodate outdoor wedding photography and the fire pit areas outside the Shovel Handle Pub. These areas are for wedding patrons toasting during their photo sessions and guests enjoying a drink while sitting around the fire pit. and this would be a permanent licensed area within, with the state. So here's the situation though. If we give you this extended liquor license for weddings, basically it's from May to November, so it would give you that access for all of your other events, because it wouldn't really be specific just to weddings, and that would mean the summer concert series, etc. And I know you may say it's just going to be for weddings, but really it would give you the authority to serve alcohol. To have alcohol outside in that area by the fire pit and by the wedding photography area.
Facing Black Mountain Road.
Yeah.
Right, that's where the brides, the whole wedding party lines up, like the backdrop of the barn.
Right.
For their photos, but they're constantly saying, I'm bringing my champagne out there, and I'm constantly policing them, saying, you can't bring out the champagne. They're like, but we're taking our photos, we're toasting. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't.
Yeah.
It's very challenging for us to continue to tackle them as they can with their glass of champagne.
Yeah. We all weighed in on this separately, so I guess Frank, what are your thoughts on it? And then I'm going to read Bob Thompson's input because he is unable to be here tonight. So.
I don't know, I'd probably take a more liberal view of it, knowing these folks and how they've handled things up there over the years. I feel certain that they'll be able to take care of business and do it right, and if we gave them a blanket license for the season, I wouldn't have a problem with that as long as we knew and understood what the limitations were, and you're going to be keeping an eye on that, Mark. So I think it's a legitimate use and a legitimate request. It's got to be, we don't want problems up there, we don't want too much noise, we don't want, people drinking too much and causing problems. But I think, personally, you've got a good venue, and I think it can be done there, and it can be done right, all right? But isn't the issue we talked a little bit about, you want to just give them a blanket for the whole season and not just one at a time?
So
Is
this
that
is this is what we would like to propose. Changing the verbiage in your letter to have the champagne toast for the wedding party. So we would limit it to that, and getting your specific dates for your weddings. And if you add any in the middle, spontaneously, we can add those dates to it. But if we can change the wording to say champagne toast for the wedding party, so it allows them to do pictures with their champagne toast, we're in favor of that. I don't want this to become out of hand, because we heard last week that Saturday's concert was great. We had no noise complaints. We had no formal complaints on anything, and I'm really happy that you had great weather for your last concert. It made me happy to see that there was a Saturday without rain for you and everybody else.
Did you see next Saturday?
But yeah, but if that works for you, then we'll get the dates of your weddings. We'll extend this for the champagne toast for the wedding party, and we'll approve it as that.
So the issue with the fire pits is this. So one of the things that I implemented when we reopened, so to speak, Shovel in the Pub, was the fire pits and complimentary marshmallows. Mm-hmm. And they keep occupied, right? So they grab the free marshmallows, the sticks that we provide. We go to hundreds upon hundreds every week. And they go up there and they roast a marshmallow. And many times the parents are like, either they are or they are not comfortable with their children in front of a fire.
Yeah.
So they have a beer in their hand and they go, I'm going to watch Jimmy or Mary roast their marshmallow. And I'm standing there going, stop. You can't bring in a beer. He said, I'm going right there. I understand where you're going. You can't go. And it creates this contentious situation between us and the guests that I'm trying to stop.
Right.
Because I'm not going to set a bar up outside and start serving alcohol. I'm trying to stop. We try to give a positive experience to all of our guests, and that it just can turn negative very quickly when I start to say no.
Understood. I totally understand.
I'm not
So,
setting up a bar. I'm not serving during. I'm not going to serve during the concert series. I'm not going to get people from, I just think.
No, I get it. And Mark, really, you've been really wonderful about working with us on all these things. I'm reading your letter and it was not talking about, other than like wedding patrons during the, okay, so were you talking about blanketed in the fire pit area and by the sign, or are we talking about wedding? And I'm sorry to be so specific. I just want to do this now, but do we want to do a champagne toast for the guests and at the fire pit, period? Is that what we're talking about?
That's perfectly fine, I just don't, yeah, that would work perfect for me. They don't need the whole lawn space, I don't want people all over the lawn drinking and falling down, it's not what I'm looking for. The man or woman that walk out, so their kids are in the marshmallow and they have the beer in their hand, I'm trying to stop getting in an argument.
And then how is this going to impact the fire pit area with your summer concert series?
Well, I won't even get this till the summer concert series is not over. I haven't even submitted it. The
Okay,
summer concert series is a 7-day
Yep.
period, ends in July 19th,
okay.
the last day.
All right, so this doesn't apply to that. We're applying this to your outside.
I don't even want it till after the concert series is over.
Okay, I see you guys, hold on.
Just
Oh,
make sure
okay.
you saw that.
All right, Jay?
Is this the existing fire pit over by Whitney's, or is this an additional fire pit?
Existing.
Existing.
So it's the one in front of Whitney's office,
No, it's the ones in front of the Shenandoah Pub.
so it's an additional fire pit.
It's by the Shovel Handle Pub. What do you mean additional? Because,
We've been there for over a year.
Because we've always done an occupancy permit so that he can get his liquor license for the one over by front of Whitney's office. The one that was over by Shovel Handle, we've never done
okay,
an occupancy permit for the liquor license side of it.
That
And
one,
the
that
other,
one licensed already.
okay. Yeah, this is an additional one then, is what Jay is saying. Okay,
Oh, in addition to that one, then yes.
okay.
so if he gets a liquor license for that area, I have to set a occupant load for the area.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can get a blanket, I don't think you can do a blanket permit, it has to be two separate liquor license items.
Right, extended liquor license for different areas,
For different, okay.
correct. Did that make sense, Mark? Because this is an additional area.
Right, so just like the other area says 35 guests, or whatever, where Jay would have to determine how many guests can go in front of there for the wedding guests, and of course, 2 fire pits, right, got it.
Okay. Mike?
So as far as for our side of things, what makes us nervous is the precedence you're setting to the other wedding venues, because you're now saying that they can go for other extensions in other areas of their stuff. But also specifically with this area there, what makes me nervous is when you have brides and grooms taking the pictures, it's not just the bride. The families are coming over, everybody wants to come over, be around and watch it.
Right.
Well, now you're allowing alcohol people in the vicinity of a parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes a very risky situation that could lead to disasters.
So the way that this is worded, Mark, did you hear that?
I did not.
Okay, so Mike Mosier, Sergeant Mosier was saying that when you allow photography around the sign area, it's going to attract people, other people than the wedding party to come over and want to take pictures and be involved, and that's right near the driveway and the parking area. And that makes him a little nervous as far as folks being out there. I hear you. I think that we're going to have to put a level of trust out that you're going to make sure that people don't get hit by cars. So hopefully that your attendants and your employees are going to be cognizant of that. I don't know if you want to rope off the area. I guess I don't want to micromanage that, Mike, as much as I hear your complaint, or not complaint, your concern. But the other thing, like you said, is are other wedding venues going to ask for different access to different areas?
We've been making them
And-
responding all these years.
Yeah, and we haven't had any other requests recently to go outside of that area with the exception of the Wentworth, which I believe made some accommodations to contain their area because they had the access on the Loop 16A loop, so we kind of made them do the landscaping barrier, so it's all contained. So, Jay?
Can you ask Mark if there's room between the shovel handle and the parking lot for the fire pit to be 25 feet from the structure?
Did you hear that question, Mark?
I'm sure it's 20 feet, but I'll measure it.
Okay. Maybe the two of you could arrange a meeting after this, that, you know, a time to go over there or whatever, Jay, and
Yeah,
make
just
sure
come along.
everything is adhered to this. I don't want this to drag on because our next meeting isn't for a couple weeks, so, this is gonna be a long one. And you tell me if you're gonna second it or not. What I'd like to do is have this letter rewritten, Mark, so it says that we're going to approve or accommodate the, wait a minute, ask that, were there any other questions? Did you guys have anything else you wanted to share? Okay. You requested to have a liquor outside of the licensed area. You're not serving liquor though, because your letter says you're gonna serve liquor outside.
I'm not gonna set up a bar, we have to bring the liquor to them, because the guest can't transport the liquor from inside to outside. We have to carry it across the unlicensed area. So we would get the tray of the champagne glasses and bring
Okay.
it to the wet, taking the photos. So it's not, I'm not gonna set up a bar.
Okay.
Mike's got a question.
Mike?
On that specific note there, is that just going to lead into another argument that he's trying to avoid on not allowing the liquor out there in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're still going to have that contention with your guests, saying, hang on, I have to take your beer. They're not going to understand that.
Put it on the tray, I'll walk it out for you.
Now, I can't solve everything.
I know, I hear you. I mean, I've got good input here and good concerns because I can't read everything between the lines, and I really want to accommodate this so it doesn't have to be so micromanaged, but I want you to be able to accommodate your guests and not have this be a huge effort and a huge ask, but I want everyone to be safe, and I don't want this to open up a can of worms with everyone else. So I'm going to have this rewritten to say that you're requesting to serve liquor outside of the licensed area to accommodate outdoor wedding photography area and the fire pit areas outside the Shovel Handle Pub. And then after approval and occupancy limit by the fire department. And this is going to be a permanent licensed area within the state, so we know that part. And this will not include your summer concert series because this will be issued after that. Anything else?
But if it's permanent, it could be any event.
Right, if this is permanent, it could be any event versus a wedding. So is this limited to weddings? It's not, because you have your fire pit with your marshmallow roasting. So it could be any event. You're not really limiting it.
Right, but the area in front of the Shovel Handle Pub where they do the photos is limited to weddings. No one else has to do photos, they're not letting
It'll be the same activity no matter what the event is, within that
If it's
certain area.
if it's a family reunion and they want to go by the sign, you're not going to say, no, you're not getting married, right? I mean, I'm thinking of so much BS right now. So can we just leave that out and say what you really want to do here? You want to limit it, you want to have people be able to have pictures by the shovel handle sign, you want to have the fire pit area accessible, but you're not going to set a bar up out there.
I will not.
And we're going to make this for this year versus the permanent liquor
It's
license?
a year, my part's every year, they gotta renew the permit, so I don't know how you can be permanent.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, the state would do it as permanent, and then I would have to go in front of the town every year,
Okay,
or just like a tent.
okay, so we'll do this for this year, and you'll submit it for your permanent liquor license through the state, and then we'll revisit it every year, or at least next year. And if we decide to make it permanent after that, we will make it permanent.
Yeah. Good.
Any other, Mike?
So, just to clarify, so
Yep.
it's the fire pit, it's just weddings, photography, that's what's being,
No, it's not gonna be just weddings, because we can't control it. It's going to be, they're going to be responsible for their private property, parking, the safety of their guests. They're going to allow extended liquor in the extended area, subject to the state approval.
Fair, it's fair.
Do I have to repeat all that for a motion?
Just say you wanna make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve our stated conversation.
And I'll second that.
All in
You
favor?
can put the letter in as
Aye.
addendum.
Okay, and we'll put in the final letter as the addendum to that. All right? All right. Are you done? You wanna hop off, or are you gonna stay on?
I'll hop off.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
See
you,
ya.
Mark.
Stay cool.
Yeah,
Two.
you too.
Ending meeting. Okay. Mike, and I know Mark's not on here anymore. Mike and Jay, I really appreciate your input on this. I don't take it lightly. I really want the businesses to do well and not have to micromanage their private areas, even when alcohol is involved. Also, if we get complaints and situations, it's going to come back and be revisited immediately. So I'm sure you'll be keeping us aware of that. Okay, next is Jackson Police donation. This is actually a donation that we received for $250 from Paul and Susan Drysdale. So first we have to make a motion to accept the $250. I will make that, oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Dugdale. Dugdale, not Clydesdale.
Dugdale, I'm sorry.
Dugdale.
Okay, Paul and Susan Dugdale.
I'll make a motion to accept the $250 from the police department from the Dugdales.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then the second thing we need to do is make a motion to create a police department donation trust. And the reason is because right now everything goes into the general fund and it doesn't really specifically set aside for the police department. So I will make a motion to set up and create a police department donation trust.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I have another motion to deposit all 2025 donations that we have received into the said trust, and it's $450 total.
Oh,
200.
Sorry, 2025, all the donations from 2025.
What, I'm sorry, I thought I said that. Okay, all the motion to deposit all 2025 donations into the said trust. 200 was accepted on May 13th, and then 250 from today. So it's $450.
Mhm.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's that. That is that check there. Move funds. Okay. All right. And now we have now that we've made that motion, we have a request of transferring funds to the new police department donation trust fund for $450. I'll make that motion.
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
You should read the.
Oh, read the whole
Yeah,
thing?
You'll have to read that, because we have to put that in.
Okay. At its meeting on June 24th, 2025 at 4:08, the Jackson Select Board authorized the deposit of $450 into the newly established Police Department Donation Trust Fund. This amount was accepted by the Select Board on behalf of the Jackson Police Department. The fund was created for the purpose of receiving private donations made to the Jackson Police Department. The Select Board serves as the agent to accept such donations and has designated the Jackson Police Chief as the agent to expend from the fund. This designation allows the funds to be used throughout the year without requiring additional voter approval. And this is for the Police Department Donation Trust Fund, which will be numbered and for $450. And we make, go ahead.
I'll make the motion.
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we accept those monies and transfer it into that fund.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, sign there. And the next is for the Jackson Select Board, authorizing the transfer of $18,000 to be deposited into the expendable trust fund per the warrant article listed below, which is the Police Department Equipment ETF 0075, Article 8, in the amount of $18,000. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. I'm going to read all of these and we can make one blanket motion, correct? If I read them all, okay. So the Jackson Select Board is requesting the following withdrawals from the trust funds as indicated below. $11,876.55 from the Police Department Equipment Expendable Trust Fund 0051. And it's $8,667.70 for North Ledge Technologies, invoice 244140. $400.65, invoice number 244143 for North Ledge Technologies, and $2,808.20, invoice number INUS 331761 for Axon Enterprises Incorporated. The next is, let's make a motion for that. I'll make a motion for the $11,876.55 from the Police Department ETF.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. The next is $2,784.77 from the Maloon Road Groundwater Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund 0071, payable to HEB Engineers for invoice 32284. There's a correction on the date for this, so it's it says dated 35/31, so it should be dated, I think, March 31st. So motion to make that disbursement.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, here comes the big one. $1,261.10 from the Wentworth Wildcat Jackson Falls Trust Fund 0029. $157.09 invoice PAR 5830 for Range Mart. $617 invoice number 74 Blue Meadow Nursery. $263.76 invoice 14 for Paris Farmers Union. $37.96 invoice 14-1258387 for Paris Farmers Union. $50.96 for invoice 216166698 for Lowe's. $9.75 invoice 373824 for Lucy Hardware, and $124.58 invoice 373815 for Lucy Hardware. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Very good. One signature. Okay. 4I, TAN. So because the Valley Cross Bridge Road funds have all been dispersed and we have not gotten reimbursed from the state yet, we need to pursue borrowing money for a TAN loan, which we have never had to do. We've had access to one, but we've never had to borrow against it. Now it's on renewal, and Julie needs the approval from us to go and find money. So I'm going to make a motion that Julie pursue acquisition of a TAN through Bank of New Hampshire, which is our current bank.
Mm-hmm. Is there an
And-
amount attached to this?
At least $1 million, which is what we had before, but,
No, it was 400,000 before.
okay.
That's what was,
I would say up to $1 million. Is that fair? So I will make a motion for Julie to pursue a TAN through our Bank of New Hampshire, or any other method necessary, up to $1 million.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
I don't think it will be that much because the state owes us $860,000.
Yep, but I just wanted to give you that leeway to ask more and settle for less.
If the pant's too big, not too small.
Exactly. Okay, the next is a raffle permit request for Oh, I thought there was.
No.
For Maine Health Memorial Hospital to have a raffle for their Wentworth Golf Club tournament, yes. So motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll make that motion to approve it's
Do I have to
tournament.
read?
Every year.
Yeah, they do
I
it
don't
every-
have to read the items or
No.
anything, right?
It's
Yeah, they
golf
do it every year,
tournament.
yep. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Okay. Thank you. The next is that Darlene Ferentz has resigned. So we are thanking her for her years of service as the Jackson Library trustee. And the town has been fortunate in its community where residents are willing to serve on a volunteer basis. So I will make a motion to accept Darlene's resignation.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm sorry to see them go.
Do we have a replacement? yet?
Yes, that's our next
That's the
thing.
next one.
Yep. And so Stan Cobras did I say that right? Cobras has offered to volunteer as the library trustee until the March elections. So I will make a motion to accept Stan's appointment on the Jackson Public Library trustees.
Thank you, Stan. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, fire station construction update. The update is that everything is on schedule and under budget.
We got one update.
Jay, yes?
So I just thought of this, but within a few weeks, they're gonna do the water line that comes, the water main for the sprinkler and for the domestic that comes off out front. It's gotta come around the building and up alongside the PD's pavement.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be, that day or two is gonna be extremely disruptive for everybody. Because it's, gonna be a 6-foot trench.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be a messed up day, no way around it. as
Okay.
far as
what I'd like you
open
to,
trench,
yeah.
parking.
what I'd like you to do if you could is send something to E-News at least the day before, 2 days before if possible. Whenever you get notice, send it
Yeah, I
to
don't
E-News.
always get
I know, but as
exact
soon as you
notice from
can,
Drew.
if you could, so many people rely on E-News and that'll help them go the other way and not, the road will be closed obviously for a
Yeah,
little
it'll be,
while.
this entrance to the selectman's office by the
Yeah.
bottom of the hill here will be closed and
So the PD will not be able to access their,
there's they'll be able to access it,
Access
but
it.
there's gonna be a 6-foot trench right up through there. They'll be able to walk
but
it.
they can't drive.
No, but it'll be
Because
through
if you're
this,
gonna have
through
a
this end of the
14-foot
building.
wide excavator or dump truck and it's.
Right, but there'll be access through this side and down the stairs, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so you'll have access through, the back door. But any kind of advance notice that you can give everyone would be fantastic. I know you don't always know, but I'm sure that,
It's gonna be a messed up day.
You
Of
gonna
course
turn the
it will.
water off for the whole town, or is it just,
No.
just there specifically?
Just the fire hydrant
Yeah,
out gonna
good.
get shut off.
Yeah.
okay,
There's
and,
another day, when Scott was exercising his valves, which had to do with DOT work, he broke a valve. out in the main-
who is this?
Scott
Scott
Hayes.
Hall, Scott Hayes.
Okay,
The precinct broke one of their valves, it's all on them. But that's gonna be a whole nother issue right out there where they gotta dig up Route 16A and replace valves. So
I just
it's
think that,
construction, there's gonna be disruptions.
I know there is, but in fairness to whoever is involved, the curio shop, Flossie's not as much, but of course they will be because of the through traffic.
Well, they'll maintain traffic.
I'm just saying, the more advance notice, anything through E-News that you can do, or talking to Richie and his guys,
I'll let Robert know.
that would be great. That way we can direct, people can know which way they're going, and if businesses want to close for the day or have some kind of signage or a flood sale or something, they can. Okay? But I appreciate that you gave us that update. The town hall is still, as someone put it, up in the air as far as what the date is that they're moving. I didn't say it, I just
They were
repeated it.
supposed to be here, but,
That's-
Steve Weeder did come in, and he said that the only thing he wanted to say is that they were working on getting a hookup to the gazebo for the electric and a few other little things, but right now he had nothing more to report. He said,
Okay.
so he said, there's no reason for me to be here. So you're
Okay.
sure? Because we
'cause
talked to you.
they had asked me what we pay for that meter over there, it's about $35 a
A
month.
month,
But they wanted to connect the two, combine the two,
that's fine.
which makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. So that's
But-
where the
but then
town
that
pays
will be their
35 a
cost.
month for the town pays 35 a month, and that's what powers the famous Christmas tree every year through May. Just kidding. Um, I'm hot.
The Z tree.
And so we're gonna combine it, and then the costs will be split between the two, or,
I don't know how it'll be one bill,
Yeah.
and it'll be the town hall's bill, but we invoice them for,
okay,
they're gonna have to, they'll have to take over that cost.
okay. And we'll figure that out when we get the first
When we
bill
get
and
there, yeah.
figure it, okay, but at least we know about it and they can combine it. Okay. Short-term rental, we have one application for Daniel Bork and Debbie Go, I'm assuming you pronounce it that way, and that is at 60 Middle Mountain Trail. And this is map V8 lot 220. It is a 3-bedroom, sleep 6, and this is okay to approve, so I'll make a motion to approve 60 Middle Mountain Trail.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What's our number? How many are we up to?
Almost 200.
200?
No,
No.
138.
No, it's over
140.
140. It's over 140.
How about the folks at the 30 limit? Do we hear from them in
How many weeks?
Yeah,
Semi
they're
regular
very
basis?
Yeah.
responsive. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
very
they're-
good. Yep.
Excellent, good.
Okay, that is that. Kevin, any building driveway permit issues, questions?
No, I don't think there's anything on there.
Nothing.
No, yes, we know.
What have you been doing with all your time?
Oh, yeah.
Fixing
Yeah.
mini
Yeah.
splits, right?
Yeah.
Working on the stand.
All right. Does anyone have any public comment? All right. Our upcoming meetings, the next meeting is Tuesday, July 2nd, 5:15. This is the Bartlett Transfer Station meeting. I'm sorry, that's not a select board meeting. It's on a, that's a Tuesday?
Is it?
No.
No.
It's July 2nd is a Wednesday.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's after the Bartlett Select Board meeting, so it's Wednesday, July 2nd, after their meeting. It's a Bartlett Transfer Station meeting. If anyone wants to join us at Bartlett Town Hall. And then the next Select Board meeting is Tuesday, July 8th at 3:30, and then we will be having a Bartlett Jackson ambulance meeting directly following that, starting at 4:30. The meeting following that is Tuesday, July 24th at 3:30, and that's it. We have no non-public. I will make a motion to adjourn at 4. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Frank and I talked the other week about mowing, is that roadside mowing, will that be on one of the upcoming agendas?
That will be, with Jim, we talked about that.
I wasn't quite ready for today, I was.
Right. But we are aware.
We're aware.
It's gonna get done.
Trying to get to it as soon as we can.
It's usually a job in the fall.
Right, we usually don't start until August, and
you know.
we
So-
do it, we try to do as much brush work as we can. But it's on the list. With the flood, we need behind.
I'll tell you what, if you have any updates at all, or when you have updates as far as calendar on that, just let us know and we can put it as a note on the, on one of the agendas and make sure that it's answered in public, so folks know about it. Does that make sense?
We do that.
Perfect. All right, motion to adjourn, 4:24.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you all for being here.
Give me the result of